Yo, what's good, my quick crypto family and my coin factory family? We're back again with your Kaspa Crypto Live. Apologies again for being later than usual by about an hour. For one, was a bit preoccupied, but for two, also was struggling to find content for today, truth be told. It actually has been quite a quiet day, weirdly enough, considering that Bitcoin is nearing and about to surpass all-time highs once again. Ethereum is set 4,742, which is equally, 2%, 3% of all-time highs? We are extremely close to seeing history being made once again for the two biggest assets, and the market, as a result, therefore, likely going to start following in suit. But the reason for why these assets are pumping is just sentiment and institutional adoption. It's been nothing more than that, really. I don't know really what to say right now. We have got sources to cover in today's stream. As the title states, all of G20 are buying Bitcoin for the national stockpile. We got a video here, an interview with CEO of the $1 billion crypto exchange Coinbase, the CEO Brian Armstrong, stating this. And we have also got more information and proof here that more Bitcoin maximalists are starting to expand into holding and looking into Kaspa, which is a really big deal. Showcase once more that this Bitcoin capital, this Bitcoin ideology is starting to come back to where it would be, as opposed to just, old money, in a sense, quote unquote old money, so store of value, therefore Bitcoin's the best, starting to actually go back to the ethos of Bitcoin, which is peer-to-peer electronic money, mean of exchange, but being decentralized, which is what Kaspa is trying to attain as well. So we've got some of that post to get through in today's stream, a lot of other big macro and fundamental developments as well, and then much more to get into. We'll get into this stream, and also to the question that I've just seen pop up on chat now from Coach. I have seen that, and I'll address that in a moment. And I won't talk on it too much because I'll get to that in a very short moment. That being said, welcome back again, everyone, to the channel once more. Hope you're having a great day so far and you're going to enjoy the content. Dimitar, as always, brother first. Welcome back again, you future crypto elite. Hope you're having a great day so far. And indeed, I think we all believe and know that Kaspa will melt faces and shock the world in the near future. Welcome, Rabbi. Apologies if I butchered your name there, but welcome back, bro. You're doing very, very well. And you too again, Wyatt. Again, yo to you too, my man. Kaspa seems to be under the radar at the moment. Big news, upside very, very soon. I do believe, we have got some big developments, price action, you name it, coming in the immediate future. I like to believe around smart contracts, but of course, because Kaspa has been down for so incredibly long, sentiment has just kind of fallen off completely now. Those who are very, very bullish on Kaspa, I've been seeing, weirdly, especially in the last 3 or 4 days, a lot more FUD around Kaspa than I have seen for quite some time. It doesn't affect me, of course, because again, I do my research. I believe I know what's coming, so I'm not too worried about it. But it's crazy to see that sentiment's shifting so much, especially when you've got Bitcoin maximalists who are starting to now shift over to look at Kaspa. That should be arguably the biggest catalyst of all, in my opinion. Mining from August 2023, I to support the hash rate. Great stuff, Dimitar. Keep it up, brother. I love to hear it. Very, very good stuff indeed. Welcome back. Hope you're doing very, very well. Yo to you too. And don't forget, it's a Zion coin. I'm guessing you're talking about Kaspa. I mean, we got a Kaspa hater here. It happens. It's what it is. End of the day, all we could do is just wait and see what happens. I disagree with the statement that Kaspa will do nothing and Zion coin. Kaspa is a 20% complete project. If you look at everything else in this space, Bitcoin is complete. You're not going to do anything else in regards to updating it, unlikely. Ethereum is complete. XRP is effectively... All these other assets have a completed foundation behind them. Kaspa has 10 BPS. That's it. I say that's it like it's not a lot. It's a big deal, of course, but you haven't got smart contracts. You haven't got native smart contracts. You haven't got MEV resistance set up just yet. Haven't got a governance system set up yet. Not a DAO set up yet. Quantum resistance as well. There's so many other developments coming to Kaspa. No Dagnite yet. So much more to come to Kaspa that calling it, however you want to call it, you're entitled to your own beliefs. But you've got to understand as well that why those who are putting down Kaspa, or those who have that opinion, you're not saying that about a project that is, dead in the sense of it's dead. It's not doing nothing. Kaspa is where it's at right now. Price action, yes, currently at 9.8 cents. Currently up 1.39% on the daily time frame. It has been down quite a bit. It's down about 50% from its all-time high back in August 1st, 2024. So it's been a long, grueling year, and equally a long 2 years as well. But at the same time, in saying all of this, Kaspa is much more of a complete project here than it was back here. Back here, this was just a Bybit listing. And Binance, speculation and whatnot. That's what happened back here. This is actually development. Kaspa is a more complete project right now, and we are going away from a hype cycle into a utility cycle. Look at the news forums. Look at everything you're seeing from the White House, from the SEC, from the CFTC, from the OCC, all of the massive financial regulators and governments. They are talking about utilizing crypto in their financial technology. That is definitive proof that this cycle is no longer get rich quick, hype cycle, meme coin, pump and dumps. It is one that has utility, and Kaspa is starting to bring out utility in a decentralized manner while still having the speed to keep up with the other proof of stake coins. That will come to the forefront very, very soon, and we'll see that, in my belief, come to the forefront very, very soon. It's a matter of me. For me, it's a matter of when, not a matter of if. Welcome back, Devious Me, bro. You're doing very, very well, brother. And Wallet 4 just bought 7 million Kaspa. Yeah, we can see here, I was going to get to this post a little bit later on. I'll probably come back full circle because I've got a sort of structure in my head of how I want this stream to go. We can see right now they actually bought 73 million Kaspa, which, yes, is $7 million worth of Kaspa, which is a massive amount. There seems to be a Kraken wallet of sorts. Again, we'll get into it a little bit more in a moment, but you can see some transactions happening here from Kraken's wallet into this one here. And we're seeing now back-to-back weeks extortion amounts of Kaspa being sent to this wallet. Last week it was 60 million Kaspa, now it's 73 million. So it's stacking heavy right now, which is very interesting. But we'll get to that again in a short moment. Mr. Miles, for once you're here at the beginning of the stream, you're doing very, very well. Welcome back to the stream, my man. Are we Moon yet? Not yet Wing Hong, but hopefully in due time. Kaspa is terrible. Again, you're in touch your own belief, brother. You really are. I'm not going to tell you to think otherwise. At the end of the day, if you don't like Kaspa, what does it matter to me? I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to talk about Kaspa, talk about crypto, give updates, and whether you believe me or not, it's up to you. At the end of the day, you shouldn't take my word for it. You do your own research. If your own research tells you Kaspa is a terrible project, then fine. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. I believe Kaspa is one of the most undervalued and innovative projects in this space, because there's nothing else in this space that is truly decentralized like Bitcoin while still being scalable. And the negative sentiment around Kaspa is purely only around its price. That's it. And then you've got people now who are throwing speculation out there about the KEF Chinese cabal and, these miners who are just taking profits and dumping on your head, marathon, leaving Kaspa. And I'm not saying none of that is unfounded, but it's speculation. We haven't got any proof of that. The only proof we have of why Kaspa's bad right now is the price is down. But again, Kaspa is a 20%, 30% completed project. The significant developments and catalysts that will drive so much more FOMO to Kaspa, like smart contracts, like stablecoins building on Kaspa, like native smart contracts, like the tier 1 listings that still aren't here yet, like KII launching their pilot project and their full-blown projects end of this year in Q4, so in the next month or two. Then you got Dagnite coming out, all these big developments, and that's me just, again, handpicking some out of a hat. She gave me 20, 30 minutes. I'm sure I could write down probably about 50 odd things that's coming to Kaspa in the individual sense. That is why, again, I believe Kaspa's an early project. But we'll have to wait and see at the end of the day. Right now, Kaspa is down from its all-time high 50%, but if you ignore the top 3, XRP, which is currently down 11%, or 10% right now, Ethereum is down 2%, and Bitcoin, which is basically at all-time highs right now. The other projects, looking at Sui equally a very big project, bigger than Kaspa right now, it's down about 25%, so not as much as Kaspa, but it's still down from all-time highs. Say, one that people talk about quite a lot, that one's down from all-time highs about 70%, but no one FUDs on Say, really. Tau, which people still don't FUD Tau is down from all-time highs at about 50% like Kaspa as well, but no one FUDs Tau. You're at HBars. HBar's down about, 30 odd percent as well? Yeah, 35%. Algorand. And again, this is not me trying to compare proof of work Kaspa to proof of stake other projects. It's me simply talking and combating the argument regarding price action. Because a lot of the arguments about Kaspa being a bad project is price action. the price is bad. I'm not going to disagree with you. But if you look at 90% of other projects out there in this space, all of their prices are down from all-time highs by quite a lot. Similar, if not more so, to Kaspa. Difference is Kaspa has more developments and catalysts to come out for it that could generate more FOMO. Could be in the main world, because we don't know. No one's got a crystal ball. But you know, like Kaspa, again, really doesn't bother me. I honestly, with respect, couldn't care. Because I'm not here to convince those who don't believe in Kaspa. I'm here just to talk about crypto and to just talk about my beliefs. With respect, of course. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong or tell you you're right. I'm not going to put down anybody's belief or, you know, be rude to anybody. Because what I try to do here, I simply just try to educate. All I am is a KOL, internet funny man, British educator. That's all it is. Everything I do is for education. It's not financial advice. You choose what you want to believe at the end of the day. Welcome back, Kryptoni, bro. You're doing very, very well, bro. Yesterday I checked your stuff and I was like, well, you weren't live, and then I got a notification saying you were live. Yeah, I went live yesterday at the usual time, so I'm not sure why it didn't pop up for you. It looks like YouTube's just not doing you nicely, which is really unfortunate. Sorry to hear that, brother. I mean, I'll try and... I mean, again, I haven't been too active about posting it in my Discord server, but either way, I do tend to go live now at least 10 to 15 minutes before the stream actually starts. So you should have got forewarning. So why you're not posting it to you, I have no idea, brother. I'm sorry. But yeah, at least you're here today, definitely. We did miss you yesterday as well, actually. What we covered yesterday was quite interesting. We thought you would like it. I actually posted it and added you in the Discord server about it as well. Did you see people people say partnership is fake, like Pumperlinski? Yes. So to get into that post, or to get into that statement now, I'll get into it very briefly, and then we'll get into the actual content. So you got this. You know, we spoke about this yesterday. Thanks to Packard brought it to my attention here about people like Lovrin, who is quite a big account, and there are other people as well who've been making posts about how, if the rumors are true, Kaspa is about to announce a partnership that will melt faces. Don't say I didn't warn you. And you've seen other people like him. There's another one, some other person. Let me quickly just find their name. Not to put them on blast, but again, just to educate people about what's being said. The other one was from... sorry, I'm scrolling up a little bit in my Discord community right now to find it. It was from... I'm struggling to find it right now. Okay, well, I'll see if I can find it later when I bring it up. But it's another person that posted about this alleged partnership, right? And then you also have Pumperlinski that I did see when scrolling through my timeline earlier, that Pumperlinski also made a post about new partnership coming that's going to melt faces. Don't say I didn't warn you. And I'm reading all these posts, and here it is from a Kaspa girl. And again, it's not me trying to actively out her. I'm not here to, you know, to out anybody like that. And look, Kaspa comments here, which is Chad puts here, how can one partner with Kaspa, a technology and a project, no HQ, no CEO, no company, huge adoption or huge integration incoming, but no partnerships. Right, I got it. And again, it's the terminology that's used, right? And unfortunately, it's the terminology that's been adopted by people in crypto, because the way you perceive it now is partnership with Kaspa. That physically is not possible, because Kaspa is open source. It's a technology stack. You could partner with the KEF or the KRI because they're third parties and they're enterprises that kind of working to help bring Kaspa to the forefront. You can't partner with Kaspa as a project. It's not XRP. It's not Ethereum. You can't partner with Bitcoin in this strict sense either. You can partner with Michael Saylor. That'll work. So the terminology is a bit skewed here about huge partnership for Kaspa incoming. Kaspa Girl's been one of the people who've done it. Lovrin's been probably the biggest account doing it as well. And you saw one from Pumperlinski recently. My sources have told me now that Pumperlinski's actually deleted the post about it now after getting quite a lot of backlash, which is to be expected because A, it's not a partnership, and two, there's no foundation behind this. Like, what rumors are we talking about? I've heard nothing about this. The only logical thought process in my head about what this quote-unquote partnership is Circle, USDC. But there doesn't seem to be any inkling or indication from Circle. Not that we've actually heard, apart from what we heard from Johnny. And even then, that wouldn't come out necessarily until the Casplex mainnet launch happened. But other than that, Again, I could be wrong, because maybe these people are insider circles that I don't know of. But we are seeing 3 or 4 different content creators now. And look, even Ellie here, who is one of the quote-unquote insiders, right, better choice of words, the Kaspa insiders here, who's saying here, stop fueling this BS. Kaspa is code, not a company. Any partnership would be with a company that operates on Kaspa, not Kaspa itself. Again, so talking about the KEF or KRI. But there are, unfortunately, and again, it's part of the game, right? If you're a content creator, you know, yeah, his issue is word partnership, right? I had my own dilemma, let's just say, back in the day when I was, you know, making content on live streams, you know, like last year or something like that, and videos. I had a similar situation where I mentioned about a partnership with Kaspa. I think I mentioned about the KF partnering with Kaspa or something along those lines. No, it wasn't. It was DWF Labs partnering with Kaspa, which is not exactly true. DWF Labs partnered with the KEF, who's a third party kind of working with Kaspa in a sense. Not partnering with them, but they're utilizing their own tools and their own expertise to kind of build on Kaspa, right? So it's the terminology that's one element you're going to be careful of in the proof of work. You've got to kind of change how that works. But yeah, sorry, tangent aside, point being is that there's for me right now, and maybe I'm just ignorant because I don't have the right connections, and it could be possible, but I personally believe these posts are just engagement farming right now. I don't see what these quote-unquote partnerships are. It seemingly started from Lovrim, who's a very big account, and then you've seen other accounts that are more closely associated to being kind of Kaspa orientated, like Kaspa Girl and Pumperlinski also talking about it as well. They get clicks, right? If you want to follow people like that, that's perfectly fine. I also, with respect, don't particularly care. I will just simply highlight to you all in the community watching that this so-called partnership, the word partnership is not the correct terminology, for one, and also there is, to my knowledge, zero foundation for this. There's no proof of such as to what this partnership is. So once more, as always, don't be emotional, be logical. Don't just follow these FOMO hype posts. Research, understand what is coming, and make your own investment decisions. Because I'm not here telling you to buy Kaspa. I'm not here telling you to buy anything. I'm here giving you information about what I believe in, which is predominantly Kaspa, of course. I do talk about other projects here and there, and I will also highlight projects if people want me to look at them. But typically, it tends to be just Kaspa. I do plan to expand a bit more, though. Although people like Cryptody I know is already typing in trash, don't you dare. But yeah, it's just a matter of, yeah, just be very worried about what you read online. I've made my own share of mistakes and I try to correct them. That's why I'm also, even more so now, very careful about what I say about Kaspa. That's also why I stopped doing price prediction about Kaspa, because if I was to say, for theoretical, or for example, let's say I'm doing an extreme example again. If I was to say $20 Kaspa, which I don't think $20 Kaspa is possible to cycle, because I think that's quite a lot to ask for. You're asking for $20 Kaspa would be over $500 billion market cap, which only Ethereum has that right now, and Bitcoin. So you're asking for a lot for that. So I don't think that's possible. But if I was to say that, for argument's sake, a $20 Kaspa, people might just take that and run with it. So I stopped doing that because I don't want to warp people's mind into creating false expectations. Kaspa is real bad. You have coins like VeChain, Jasmy, Kaspa that are... And again, with respect, brother, you don't like Kaspa, that's perfectly fine, but you are comparing VeChain and Jasmy, which are not proof of work coins, to Kaspa. It's like comparing apples to oranges. You're comparing projects that are not in the same space. They're different. If you're comparing XRP to XLM, that's fine. They're similar enough. But you're comparing Kaspa, a proof of work fair launch project, to VeChain, which is proof of stake, and Jasmy, also proof of stake. They are not the same project in the slightest. So and also to, I guess, for the delve down this rabbit hole, you look at VeChain and you look at Jasmy and you look at how their price is currently doing. Because again, the argument being made, I'm guessing, is predominantly down to price, right? But it is what it is. Look at the price right now. VeChain is currently down. Or it's not actually down, tell a lie. It's up 75% from its launch. But it's also a very, very old project. It's already gone through its own cycle. VeChain is one that I think has been connected to some from these institutions and whatnot, so maybe it does well. Again, I'm not too well versed with V. And then you look at Jasmy. Jasmy is, its chart is one that does not look reassuring in the slightest. Down like 90% or so plus from that, 98% from its launch. So, again, the comparisons you make, while I understand your frustration with Kaspa and how it's not done a lot until the price action, and I'm sure you have some arguments that might be justified to why you don't like Kaspa and why it's a bad project, but I don't think comparing it to likes of Jasmy or VeChain is remotely fair, because they're different projects. They're not the same. If you're comparing VeChain to something like XRP, that would be closer correlated to the Kaspa and VeChain. But they're different sectors, different projects. They fundamentally work differently. So it doesn't make sense to compare the two. Besides, they have, lackluster price action. And even then, if you look at price action-wise, from their launch, Kaspa still blows them completely out of the water. Jasmy's down 98% from its launch. VeChain's up 75% from its launch. Kaspa is up over 40,000% since its launch. When it decides what's on the load. When it wants to load. There you go. 52,000% from its launch. Now, it's been bad for the past 2 years, agreeably, but it's done incredible from its launch. Fair launch project, by the way. All of this is organic. You haven't got the ETS coming in yet to help pump the price. You haven't got the tier 1 listings of Binance and Coinbase helping pump the price yet. You haven't got the smart contracts bringing in more adoption to help pump the price. KRI with institutional adoption to help pump the price yet. People said the same thing about Bitcoin in the early days as well. We literally showcase posts. I wonder how far back I have to scroll to find it. But we showcase posts with Bitcoin Maxis who are saying, I've done mining Bitcoin. It can't go any higher past $20. And it's the exact same thing people are probably saying about Kaspa now. It can never go past 20 cents. Again, there's no guarantee that it will. But I think a strong chance it will go above 20 cents and then beyond that. It's. I want to see if I can find this post now. By the Bitcoin Maxis who was saying a very, very similar thing. It was, who was it that posted it? It was I can't remember his name. I do know his name. I can literally think of him. There you go. Look, Kaspa. Look, this is why I've liquidated my position in Bitcoin. This is very low upside going forward. It will never reach $20 again. This individual said it in 2011. Look at Bitcoin now, $120,000. That was a mistake. I'm not saying that Kaspa is the exact same, but I'm saying people who didn't understand technology in regards to exactly what they held, they faded it, and they now live to regret it. So ultimately, understand what it is you hold properly. If you're trying to compare Kaspa to Jasmy and VeChain, I think you've got the wrong idea about Kaspa, because it's not a comparable project in that regard. The best thing you can compare, the only project you can actually compare Kaspa to is Bitcoin. Arguably Litecoin could also prove of work, but even then, you can't compare, because Kaspa is different in that regard. But before I get into more of the comments, because I am seeing that we're getting quite a lot of fuzz today, which is always very interesting. I know that Mr. Miles and Kryptoni will be fighting that good fight in the chat. We'll get into some content first and foremost, and I'll come back to look through some of the comments. I guess keep the chat going, and by all means, everyone's entitled to their own opinions, but please just keep it respectful. I don't care if you love or hate Kaspa, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. But on both sides, if you're a Kaspa Maxi or you don't like Kaspa, be respectful. Value people's opinions. If you don't like it, fine. But we don't need to create a place of hate, because ultimately we're all here to make money. We all here want to make gains. So why would you be throwing hate about? Just be respectful, so I ask. That being said, though, let's get into some of the content, because there has been a whole 20 minutes just rambling with people, which I do appreciate at times. Maybe I should do a Q&A stream, as Mr. Bar says here. It might be a good idea on a slow day, so I might start doing that in the future if I have a slow day. Not a bad idea. I wonder why you're a mod. You're not bullying me, you have some good ideas. Great stuff. That being said, let's get into the content now. So we can see Kaspa, of course, right now got 107 million 24-hour trading volume, which is good. Good to see above the hundreds again. Again, we'll say we want it to stay that high for longer. I have seen some posts in my community recently about how Maxis also key reason why Kaspa's dumping, and it probably is. They have manipulated the price of Kaspa right now, but again, as you look at the volume, Maxis 12%. The other second biggest, but they're 12%. They don't control the vast majority of Kaspa. It's predominantly Gate that do it. That does not mean that Maxis can't manipulate Kaspa, but not as significantly as people would like to anticipate. And even then, there was a post put out by Kaspa Daily a while back talking about exchange manipulation and how actually in the long run it's not a bad thing at all. And if you haven't read that, I definitely recommend doing so. I think it's already available in my community. I think Tony, not Crypto, the other Tony, posted that in there earlier as well. But you can see right now, again, this is currently how Kaspa's doing. And then we have seen in regards to the wallets, again, we've got 540,000, almost 541 adjusted by Kaspa right now. So we are, despite Kaspa's price action still being lackluster, we are seeing continual adoption. Now, how is that possible? How are you seeing more addresses but the price going down? Very simple. You're seeing more outflows from bigger wallets than inflows from smaller wallets. So you might be seeing, as you can see here, sharks. You've seen 11,000 sharks go in the last 24 hours, but you've seen 59 more crabs. So you are seeing more addresses coming in, but larger capital coming out. That's simply all it is. But therefore, you're seeing the adoption of capital going up more and more. Nothing wrong with that at all. So we can see right now in the 24 hour, we see some big outflows from Uphold, 60 million from Uphold in Kaspa, which is quite insane. Kraken, about 39 million Kaspa, and Maxis about 8 million, and there's some other big wallets here, some outflows. This wallet is taking out a heavy chunk. You know, they sold 66% of their position in Kaspa from the looks of things, which is quite insane. And then you see inflows right now. You've seen this wallet, which is Kraken's wallet, which probably also explains why you're seeing this Kraken wallet here with 40 million outflows. This is Kraken's wallet, it looks like, with 73 million inflows in Kaspa, which is $7.2 million. Uphold here, different Uphold wallets. So they look like Uphold are now shifting wallets right now. You saw 60 million outflows in this one, and this other one here's got 54.7 million inflows. So they're shifting wallets right now, interestingly. Gate for 7 million in. This wallet here was 6.5 million. Bybit 4.5 million. So we're seeing, again, quite a large amount of inflows compared to outflow today, which is interesting. And again, you look at the price of capital right now, it's currently up 1.13% on the daily time frame. Momentarily today, we did surpass 10 cents, which is good. What we need to see, ideally, is Kaspa surpass 10 cents like it did and hold above that level. We have talked about it in our VIP, talked about it on stream as well. But 10 cents, 0.1 is a critical level of resistance and support for Kaspa. Because to pass that and hold that, that'd be a fantastic sign for Kaspa to make that move upwards, which we have seen Kaspa has surpassed it in, you know, this year so far on 2 occasions, well, more 2 occasions, but since our Liberation Day at least, we've seen it on 2 or 3 occasions or so, but it's not been able to hold that. The best case we saw was when Kaspa came down here and held, like, was trading just below it, and then it fell below, and now trying to regain that again. So will we see it past that? I'm hopeful that based on what's coming out, the increasing speculation from the likes of BlackRock, from the likes of Cathie Wood, Tom Lee, and all the other big Wall Street experts, and then equally, you know, Scott Bessent and whatnot, all the other, again, what they're saying isn't really that, you know, impactful, considering that the Fed makes a decision. But all of them, all the Wall Street experts and the big high net worth individuals, they're now calling for definite rate cuts in September, potentially to 50 basis point. Now, if that would happen, that would be interesting. I'd like to say it'd be insane, but again, based on the information I've given to my VIPs, which again, if you want to find out more, check out the VIP. You can join for a week. You can join for free for a week, and in there is a document already published from Signum Bank that suggests rate cuts may actually be a negative thing. Of course, it makes sense for it to be positive because rate cuts alleviates pressure from the economy, allows for more investment into on-risk markets. But because we already have markets at all-time highs, meaning we don't need rate cuts, if we get rate cuts now, that would potentially be an indicator that Jerome Powell and the Fed deem that the economy is in a very bad spot, which would cause more FUD. So we may not need rate cuts. Again, I've mentioned that time and time again in the past. We have got institutional confirmation of that as well now. You want to find that stuff out, that information ahead of time. The VIP is available. Doing for free for a week or for a month for free. If you sign up to the BYDFI affiliate link down below in the description as well. But that's also one reason why I think that therefore with rate cuts coming through and other big, you know, fundamental developments like regulatory frameworks coming through, you'll see crypto and Kaspa make that push up very, very soon. I mean, again, Ethereum and Bitcoin are already nearing their all-time highs. XRP is not far off Kaspa. I think will start making that gain. And because Kaspa is a smaller asset, in theory, the potential multiplier will be a lot more as well. We have got some fundamental posts here to get into before we get into some of the Kaspa content, and then I'll come back round to questions. So with the first post here from Dr. Heisberg highlighting that over 95% of stablecoin activity is backed by dollars. And non-stablecoin by dollars is just less than 2% of the market, which is proof that if you're not a dollar-denominated stablecoin, you're probably going to fail because you have liquidity gravity, which is, you know, predominantly USD, low yield, which is hard to break even, and no real distribution. Without all three, you're just reinforcing dollar can't say the word. Can't say no, but point being is dollar dominant stablecoin. Stablecoins are going to keep dollar dominance up. And that's also, with the passing of the Genius Act, going to accelerate that more and more as well. Which I want to get to this post here from Smoke, something that I have already spent, I think I showcased in my VIP this post months and months and months back. But this post here is an institutional document from the state of the USDC economy, highlighting that global regulatory clarity is coming. Around the world, major jurisdictions are putting stablecoins and the broader digital asset market into the regulatory light of day. Just as the dot-com bubble burst or the '08 financial crisis were necessary preconditions for comprehensive market reforms, new rules and a straightened code of conduct among survivor firms, digital assets are broadly enjoying a cycle of maturation, accountability, and ultimately success. So to me, what this is highlighting is, just like we saw in dot-com bust and the '08 financial crisis, we saw a lot of assets capitulate. A lot of firms, a lot of companies go to zero, bankrupt. You're going to see the same thing happening again, but those that survive will massively enjoy a lot of success, accountability, and maturation. And for me, based on the community we have in Kaspa, one that's going to survive. I'd like to believe it will do. I know it's a small asset with lack of adoption in that regard, but I think a lot of us here have, and again, you're thinking about it, Bitcoin Maxis are getting more involved now, and they are the ones who have kept Bitcoin alive throughout all of this stuff as well. If Bitcoin Maxis perceive Kaspa in a similar limelight, Kaspa won't fall off. And therefore, if and when Kaspa does survive this, and the global regulatory clarity does come, Kaspa's going to massively succeed in this market, and then potentially take over from there as well. In other news, also very important here from Solid Intel, when it decides it wants to load, my PC has been very slow today, I do apologise for that. We can see here Google Play has tightened rules on cryptocurrency wallets and exchanges, requiring developers to meet local regulatory and licensing standards. So it's quite frustrating seeing this kind of regulatory this strict regulatory regime still kind of taking precedent, but it's still an indication of, again, the regulatory clarity coming through, the kind of acceptance of the crypto. It's still probably a bit too overbearing, overreaching, but it's still coming through. SEC is also being more loose, which is good. They've already got ETF for Ethereum and Bitcoin, and they're now expanding to Solana and XRP. Here they've acknowledged the Invesco Galaxy Spot Solana ETF, which is very, very bullish, as we've also confirmed on our VIP as well. And then we've got this interview here from Brian Armstrong I want to get into, which covers him saying that the G20 country, every G20 country is looking to buy Bitcoin for their reserve. Listen very closely here.
Yeah, well, President Trump passed this executive order creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve and then a crypto asset stockpile to hold some of these other ones as well. A lot of people don't know, but the U.S. actually holds strategic reserves of a number of different assets. So gold is probably the most famous one, but there's a bunch of other ones that they hold. Like there's an oil strategic reserve. There's like palladium. I think there's a bunch of like rare minerals, and so it's kind of a historic step where the United States government is saying, actually, we think Bitcoin is another strategic asset which should be held by the U.S. government. This would have been unthinkable, by the way, like 5 years ago, where the government was so skeptical of it. And now, like, the United States government is holding a stockpile of these Bitcoin assets. So that was a huge moment. It kind of, by the way, now that the U.S. is doing this, I think the rest of the G20 countries and central banks are all starting to look at this. It just kind of instantly legitimized it. And, President Trump, to his credit, he said he wants to be the first crypto president in the United States and certainly in the world. Like he's all in on this. He's like, America has to lead here. This is a technology to update the financial system and become a financial center of the world, which is important for American power. So he's kind of gone all in on it. And I think the rest of the G20 are now looking at this as a model to follow.
Man. Nice.
It is crazy how many people don't understand the significance of this, or more so, what Brian Armstrong just said here is something that these institutions, again, the documents that I cover with my VIPs continuously, what he's just said there is one of the major catalysts that supports the theories that this cycle could extend further than we expect. Is what these institutions are talking about. And so many people don't understand the significance of what he's saying and what it can mean for the maturing nature of this market. You got to understand we are not in the same bull run. What you learned in the last cycle and the cycle before that, they probably work for that, and they'll work with this as well. But you are not in the same bull cycle. The strategies you learned in 2021 won't have a 100% success rate in the cycle. I made mistakes in my first cycle. I did ultimately, and by God's grace, thankfully, finish net positive last cycle. But I made a lot of mistakes. I learned from them. And during this bear cycle, I learned how to adapt and learned what was coming. When I realized institutional adoption was coming the way it was doing in 2023, when BlackRock filed the ETF for Bitcoin that got approved in January 2024, I knew, as you should do, I'd know that institutional adoption was going to take over this market, and therefore what they say has a lot more significance than ever before in crypto. And therefore, what they're talking about, the catalyst, right there, Brian Armstrong mentioned this national stockpile, this reserve for Bitcoin. That is a catalyst. It hasn't started happening in full force just yet. It's still being rolled out. The kinks are being worked out. When you start seeing Bitcoin and then other altcoins, your Ethereums, your XRPs, who knows, maybe even your Kaspa one day, who knows? But when you start seeing these other assets become part of this reserve, like the way you hold gold effectively, those are catalysts to generate more demand for these tokens, for these crypto projects, these coins, and inherently therefore send the market higher as well. There are currently 3 to 4 major catalysts for this cycle that are still coming out, and pretty much all of them impact altcoins as well. And again, I've published the information in my VIP. Already published to Tony and Joe, everyone else in there. We've covered it with our VIPs already. We know what's coming. We're fully aware. We're prepared for it. And that's why we're not worried about the cycle. That's also why we're not worried about Kaspa. Because what we're seeing come to the space will also inherently affect the price of Kaspa going forward as well. There's so much coming to the space right now. And in other big news, it's not Kaspa partnership, but Tangent is someone who's been working closely alongside Kaspa. Being a big part of, shilling them, endorsing them and whatnot, launching their memes, whatnot. They're now expanding into London in self stores, which is also really, really big. Once more indicating that crypto adoption is going more and more mainstream. All we're seeing right now, development-wise, is how big regulatory frameworks are going to be, and how we're going to see crypto going mainstream. And these big developments don't happen overnight. They take time, but what we're seeing right now is gradual then sudden. You're seeing gradual adoption, gradual accumulation, and then it's going to happen suddenly all at once. I mean, just think about Ethereum, for example. Look at Ethereum right now. It was down here, June 22nd. It was down at 2K at June 22nd. And now we're in August 13th. So 2 months later, Ethereum has 2x'd. Ethereum has 2x'd. And it's still rallying higher. Someone's saying 7.5k Ethereum this cycle. Maybe it goes higher. Who knows? Point being, the space really quickly shifts. When you least expect it as well. And Kaspa for me again is that project that's going to do very, very well. We're still waiting for that Uphold document. I'm not sure what's taken Uphold, OTC and Stockpile HyperX so long. It's meant to be yesterday. It's not come out. So who knows when it's going to be coming out. We already covered this document here. Mentioned the fact that now we're seeing more and more Bitcoin Maxis. Another one now has joined the education of Kaspa. Not the Kaspa army per se, but just trying to learn more about Kaspa here. He said Bitcoin network's effects will last for years and years, but I did take the step of adding Kaspa to my bio. How BJ talk about how network effects are forever. Bitcoin doesn't inherently know this, but they can't accept it for whatever reason. Study Kaspa. Ultimately, that Bitcoin inevitably will fall off if there's no demand through medium of exchange, which Bitcoin will end up losing that. Now, its effect will last for years and years. That's not incorrect, but it will fall off. But Kaspa right now has the technology to keep running. It needs the adoption, and hopefully it'll start coming through with smart contracts and other stuff being built on it right now. We've got other big posts we'll get into in layer one in a moment as well. But before I do want to get to some of the questions here, because I'm sure I can start quite a lot, and I'm sure I'm going to hopefully hear a lot of respectful debating. What is your thoughts on Monero and Cubic? That's actually one of the posts we have here as well. I haven't got too much of thought process on it. I know Cubic tried to attack Kaspa, and seemingly they failed. And I think that's because of the ASIC miners, basically just allowing a bit of ASIC friendliness is more secure than ASIC recent network. So seemingly ASIC is the reason why Cubic couldn't get into it. People are saying it's due to CPU mining based or whatnot. End of the day, they've seemingly taken over Monero, XMR. I haven't really got too much of an opinion on it. I might talk about it more so at a later date. But for me, I'm not particularly too worried. I'm still not particularly bullish of anything on Cubic. I think they're just they're looking like they're kind of just going after every project they can do and see if they can try and take it over. That's from the looks of things. And I think they tried to do it with Kaspa and they ultimately... They did take some Kaspa people, seemingly, but they didn't take it over per se, so I don't know. What's up, Next Level Cash Bro? You're doing very, very well. When Lambo, yeah, I know you're joking, but I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping the next couple of months will be very, very big. But I'm doing good, bro. Hope you're doing very well as well. I also achieved one of my Kaspa holding amount milestones. Love to hear that, Andy, brother. I'm glad you kept stacking those bags with the mining and the scooping up every single day, DCAing. Honestly, great stuff, brother. Keep stacking, bro. I'm happy for you. I told my shrink about Kaspa today, and we didn't talk any more about it. Well, at least he knows, or she knows. At least they know about Kaspa now. Look at the Kaspa price. That's what I mean, though, brother. If you're saying Kaspa's a bad project purely based on price, look at 99% of other crypto projects out there. They are terrible in regards to price and worse than Kaspa. But the difference is they are completed projects, more or less. Kaspa's still, again, very early in building. It's a 3-year-old project that's still up from its launch. So, it depends on the time frame you're looking at. It's all a matter of perspective. I'm not running my big 3,000 watt miners, just the KS7 500 watt miners right now. I mean, yeah, it's probably the smart thing to do because it's not worthwhile, it's not beneficial, you know? Kaspa God and I are one on this. Bitcoin Maxis involvement is biggest. Oh yeah, I agree. I was saying that as well. I think Bitcoin Maxis are arguably the biggest catalyst because, as we should understand, Bitcoin Maxis hate everything and anything in crypto. They call everything a scam coin, a shit coin, because it's not Bitcoin. They hate XRP, they hate Ethereum, they hate Sui, they hate everything. But some of them now starting to accept Kaspa. That's the first time ever it's happened, by the way. Same way with Marathon Digital Holdings. Only mines Bitcoin, never Litecoin, never Dogecoin, only Bitcoin. They started mining Kaspa. Do you not see the significance of Bitcoin companies and Bitcoin entities starting to accept Kaspa? Only slowly, but surely, and eventually they will all start accepting Kaspa. It's bigger than you think. If you see a Bitcoin level community starting to take notice and accept Kaspa, well, there's still a lot of FUD around it. A lot of them still saying it's not Bitcoin, it's terrible. Of course they're going to say that. But if Kaspa can prove itself, if these Bitcoin maxis start coming to Kaspa and they start testing out Kaspa for the smart contract and whatnot, and the network runs as we'd hope and intend it would do, then the argument that Kaspa has no adoption, all these other arguments that Bitcoin maxis make, loses credibility. Because you have smart contracts that are running and it's getting more adoption. People are building on Kaspa. It loses credibility. And then the arguments about why Kaspa's bad is purely because it's not Bitcoin. And then that loses credibility even more so as well. Because the argument about, well, it's the same argument about money. You know, why is crypto bad because it's not fiat currency? It's a stupid argument. And it makes no sense. If the argument about it's not this, therefore it can't do it, it's ridiculous. It's got to be more backing behind it. So Bitcoin Maxis being involved, I think, is a very big deal. Welcome up, Double D, bro. You're doing very, very well, brother. Welcome back to the show, my man. Never shut down the archival node, though. Hey, love to hear that, Kryptonic. Keep it up. I did a research, and you cannot imagine how big this community is. More and more Bitcoiners are also coming. Exactly. More and more Bitcoiners are coming. The community is very, very large. Considering how early this project is a very big community. And a Bitcoin Maxis getting involved is a very big deal as well. Kaspa will crash, and they will stop. Look at how much developers are fired. Again, brother, I think your inception of Kaspa is incorrect. No developers were fired. You can't fire someone from an open source project. Shai was forced out, and he wasn't a developer. He was part of the Kaspa core team as a researcher, but he wasn't a developer. Other than that, I'm actually not too well versed about what quote-unquote developers were quote-unquote fired. I'm sure developers have come and gone. But for the most part, Kaspa, again, is open source. Anybody can jump on board and help. That's literally what open source means. So Kaspa will crash. That's your opinion. Fine. But developers being fired is an incorrect statement, fundamentally speaking. And the only person that could fit in this bracket that I know you're referring to probably is Shai. And he wasn't fired, although he was kind of forced out, which is unfortunate. But he wasn't a developer either. He was a core researcher. He was part of the core team, but he was a researcher. And I think him being pushed out was quite unfortunate. But he wasn't fired. So again, I'm not sure what you're referring to. I think I need your source of the information posted so I can see what you're referring to right now. Because otherwise, then for me, there's no credibility in what you're saying. Because I personally think it's wrong because I've not seen it. But again, that's maybe my ignorance. But if you're just saying about any credibility, it's speculation, right? Almost at a Bitcoin market cap added to Kaspa will put Kaspa at $1. Exactly, insane. Welcome back, Erica. I heard you're doing very, very well. For the Kaspa hater, time is the most precious thing. If you hate Kaspa, what are you doing wasting your time on the stream? Honestly, you don't have a life. I mean, again, let's try to keep it respectful. Maybe they just enjoy my soothing voice, you know? My soothing British voice. Maybe they just enjoy that. Or maybe they're just trying to FUD because they want me to be able to debunk their negativity to then give them some form of belief. They can be whatever they want to be. It doesn't bother me at all. It gives me something to talk about, honestly. It's been a while since I tried to combat some Kaspa fudsters, and I enjoy trying to do it. And when I can't do it, we've got my community here who are willing to do so as well. Yeah, that's what I was just saying there as well. No, I am wake up people like you where you can better invest your money in real stuff where you can make money. I mean, if you've been following my channel for a while, you'll know that I do hold other assets. Like I have sold a lot of them off right now, truth be told, to get into more Kaspa. But I did hold Say at one point. I held Tau. I still hold Tau, actually. I held Sui at one point. I still hold XRP. You know, I've made gains. I made losses on some of them as well. I do believe in diversification. And I also hold some of these memes. And in the memes I'm holding right now for KYC 20, because I got in the dipped, I'm actually up on those as well. So, and it's not me saying that, you know, oh, listen to me, I'm perfect, I'm great, I know what I'm doing. I'm educated, and I choose my zones accordingly based on the information that I look into. There are other ways to make money in this space. I have never once say only go into Kaspa. If you follow my channel for a while, you know that. I've never once said only look at Kaspa. Some believe that. Some want to only go in Kaspa, and that's perfectly fine. And I think if you're going to go into only one asset, then Kaspa's not a bad shout. Only better shout than Kaspa might be Bitcoin, because again, Bitcoin is guaranteed to go up. But the ROI potential on Bitcoin is a lot lower than Kaspa, in my belief. Bitcoin at 122, max, which is 250 decay the cycle. That's what, a 2x from here. Kaspa 2x is at all-time highs again. I think it's past that quite comfortably. But again, if you don't like Kaspa, that's perfectly fine. You can invest your money wherever you want to. It's up for you. Completely up to you. But I never once said only go into Kaspa. I hold multiple other things. But Kaspa my biggest holding by a landslide because I have more belief in it. If exchanges want profits from Kaspa, the suitable listing will be around the little smart contracts. Yeah, I believe so as well. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm not holding my breath about listings. When the listings come out, of course we'll celebrate. When Binance and Coinbase list Kaspa, we'll celebrate. But I'm not holding my breath about it anymore because it's just not worth stressing about it too much. I'm sure they'll come out. I'm still convinced they'll come out the cycle, but I'm not gonna lose sleep over when they're going to list, you know, like we were doing last year. I'm also in Kaspa and I'm waiting for it to reach 9.5 cents to drop. I mean, you can drop that now then. It's at 9.8 cents. What do you mean? I'm waiting for it to reach 9.5 cents to drop that. I mean, it's at 9.8 right now, so you'd be up on that, therefore. So you could drop it now if you wanted to. But it's completely up to you. When Kaspa was something like healthy, then a lot of exchanges were listing. Maybe I'm a bit confused. I mean, Kaspa got listing because people want to list Kaspa. Kaspa's a fair launch project. You know, again, you can't. Kaspa's not like XRP or whatever. You can just buy your way onto listings. It's not going to buy us onto an exchange listing. So listings have never been an easy thing. And again, for me, I feel like you're very much still in the mindset of get rich quick hype cycle, which is crypto is not that anymore. It's leaving that. 2024 was that. That's why there's a meme coin bubble that burst in 2025. You can still get rich quick, quote unquote, through memes and what other projects you have done. But this cycle is maturing into, we literally are talking about this stuff here. All this stuff here about companies getting more involved into crypto, wanting to utilize their technology and whatnot. We're not in a get rich quick cycle anymore. They're looking into technological stuff. And Kaspa for me is the strongest bet out there. The strength of Kaspa will come back. I'm still, yeah. You could argue that the superior tech wins in the end, but truth is 9% don't care about the tech. You say that, but once again, we are not in a get-rich-quick cycle anymore. We're in a technological cycle. We're shifting from get-rich-quick hype cycle into utility tokens, ones that can provide real use case. Bitcoin has its use case store of value. Ethereum's got use case being the biggest ecosystem right now for stablecoins. XRP is growing quickly, based on their legal clarity from winning their lawsuit and settling, filing a joint appeal, or dropping their appeal. You know, and Kaspa, again, is such an early project. Bitcoin went through the exact same stage in the first 3 years of its cycle. And now look at it. The statement about 99% do not care about tech is a speculative one because there's no stats to support that theory, for one. And two, if no one cared about tech, then why is Apple the biggest company? Why is Nvidia the biggest company? Because they've got fantastic tech. So tech, superior tech, does win. And people do care. People invest into Nvidia because their tech's incredible and they're helping do stuff towards AI. So tech does matter. And Kaspa, when it comes to protocols and decentralization and scalability, is the most unique and innovative tech in the crypto space. It's really, really early. That's why the price is down. End of the day, people who are fighting Kaspa, again, you're allowed to say what you want to do. I really, really hope you stick around. I really do, because I would like to believe and hope and pray that when Kaspa does surpass its all-time high and goes on quite a bit of a rally, that you will still be here, and hopefully you'll shift your sentiment again. And if you do, it tells me what I need to know, which is that you guys are here for the value and that's it, and that's fine. You're here to make money. That's all well and good. But a lot of people who are here in Kaspa are not just here for the money; they're also here because they see it as their retirement plan for the future. Because technology does matter. It does matter significantly. Why do you think governments are now switching to holding crypto? Why do you think on November, SWIFT and 91% of financial institutions are shifting from SWIFT onto blockchain, to RS-2022 messaging standard? Because blockchain systems are more efficient than SWIFT, a 50-year-old system that is incumbent, slow and expensive, and has a probability of failing. So tech does matter. It does matter. That's why governments are shifting to Bitcoin, to blockchain. And Kaspa stands out, at least for us, as one of the most innovative techs. Now, will it come up to the forefront? Well, you've got companies like Uphold who are seemingly very bullish on it, despite still waiting for this report. Uphold talking about it. Marathon, who are mining Kaspa, and Marathon again, their partnerships and their shareholders are the likes of BlackRock. You've got Zodia, who are kind of who know about Kaspa as well. Kaspa, again, is such an early project. We are definitely in a bubble for Kaspa, but again, its adoption's going more and more, and Bitcoin Maxis is going to help that as well. So, for me, to respond to that point, Wealth Ranger, and I know you're a big Kaspa hater, I see it in every video I make, and that's perfectly fine. End of the day, you can say every time when Kaspa's going to pump, 2020, 2030, whatever it may be, and every time I just say, well, nobody knows. No one knows, but the fundamental point is tech does win, and people don't care. People who don't care about tech. They're the ones who are going to fall short, because again, the information that comes from my VIPs are literally telling us from institutions, which with respect matter more than us, because they're the ones who control the market. They're the ones saying this tech matters. If you want to find out more, again, the VIP is available. You can join for free for a week or for a month. It's just to the affiliate link to BYDFI, no KYC exchange, no VPN exchange, who's got regulatory license in Canada, the United States, and many, many more. So you can check it all out for free and get a little inkling behind the curtains of what we talk about in there to help you understand why my conviction to Kaspa doesn't drop at all. Because what they're talking about, Kaspa is also targeting those markets that has a tech to help benefit it even more so. We're just early. Nothing wrong with being early. The biggest difference between Bitcoin and Kaspa is the limiting speed and scaling factors of Bitcoin, which Kaspa has solved, and of course Kaspa lacks adoption compared to Bitcoin. Precisely. But that can also change. On that note, while Bitcoin can't become fast scalable, Kaspa can become adopted over time. Exactly. Completely right. With all respect, when you have even the best text dev engines community, when your coin is not hyped and listed, they will fail. I mean, potentially, but at the same time, Kaspa does have Kaspa's a top 50. Like, people talk Kaspa. It's not a top, like, it's just me trying to now formulate my sentences. Kaspa's a top 50 asset. Top 50. It got to top 20 in 2024. Like, is it unknown? In the grand retrospect, yes, it is. Kaspa's knowledge, people's knowledge of Kaspa is still very, very limited, but Kaspa's not a small project. It is, but it's also this way without the adoption. And you're forgetting that people like Binance have been talking to Kaspa since 2023. Now, why they're not listed again, we don't know, but these exchanges, even Coinbase, all the information available on my Discord server, by the way. You can literally search up. These exchanges know of Kaspa. When they list, it's up to them, but they know of Kaspa. So again, I don't really know what more to get at from that. They know of Kaspa. It'll come. It'll come. But again, if you haven't got the patience for it, that's perfectly fine. Like, you go on to your proof of stakes and move on and make your money. You can make your money wherever else. I hope you all succeed. Really do. English needs work if you're going to complain so much. I mean, again, let's try and keep it respectful, right? It may not be first language, right? If it's not first language, then again, respect him for even trying. In the last cycles, hype did matter, but now hype still matters, but the cycle is maturing to fundamentals in tech. So, I'm a big Kaspa bag and I'm waiting to drop that. And if you want to, fine, go for it. Again, you drop it whenever you want. I just hope you don't end up regretting it, like what these Bitcoin maxis did. I hope you don't end up regretting it, because that would also be a really, really sad situation to be in. And I'm not going to say anything else besides just know what you hold. If you did your own research, you know what you hold. I hold Kaspa because I've done my own research. Simply put, you should really listen to what you should do, and Cryptony told me about this already in the past. If you go into my Discord community, my free Discord community, and you go onto the Kaspa chat channel and go onto the pinned messages, you will see Cryptony posted the Kaspa Endgame series from Plan K. And that in and of itself should give you enough conviction about what Kaspa is trying to achieve. And ultimately, it gives you it's about, 4 hours of your time. If you've got 4 hours, I mean, you tune into my streams quite a lot. You've got an hour to spare there for 4 hours. Watch it once, one video a night. The Endgame series about Kaspa gives you an understanding of the whole monetary system, the history behind it, and ultimately what Kaspa is trying to achieve. And that will let you know why our conviction in Kaspa is so strong as well. That series from Plan K was honestly that should be in the history books. It was such an educational video, and it let me know a lot about Kaspa as well. And ultimately, the money system we're in right now, why the dollar's failing, why Bitcoin can't fix it, why these proof of stakes can't fix it, and why Kaspa therefore is a good solution to that. But you do need patience. That's one thing. Yeah, you definitely need patience. And just seeing more comments here. I remember when Netflix partnered with the internet changing from shipping videos in the mail. Yeah, I mean, again, just kind of how, stuff changes so quickly, how tech and partnerships change so quickly, Yeah, no, Cryptony is very much just Kaspa only. Now, for me, I do, dabble in other elements of the crypto space as well. I've never been saying Kaspa only. Some people want to believe that, like Cryptony, that's perfectly fine. You can believe what you want to believe. I haven't got a problem with you wanting to be in anything else. If you don't like Kaspa, fine. If you want to drop it because it's been bad in price, then fine. That's, again, I haven't got a problem with that. It doesn't bother me in the slightest, but I have to wait and see. That's a lot of posts. Just seeing more posts here and trying to get to the end of the questions right now real quickly. I don't even care about the Kaspa FUD. We all know what Kaspa is and will be. Exactly. I mean, some of us don't listen to the FUD. I do know some people who just tune in and just so FUD and then leave, and that's, again, perfectly fine. I honestly, it's kind of refreshing talking about the FUD again, because I do enjoy talking about it on occasion. There was a streak back last year where I was getting it every stream, and that was very tiring, where I had to ignore it. But it's been a while, so it's quite nice to talk about it in my streams again, actually. And again, I reinforce the same statements I said back then. If you don't believe in capital, it's perfectly fine. But if you do these certain things and research, you understand why we hold Kaspa, and you understand that, again, these get-rich-quick schemes, they are not a thing anymore, or they're less of a thing anymore. They won't matter as much. Cycle's evolving, you know? And no, they are. That's why he was comparing Kaspa to those. That was the point he was trying to make. And I was just saying the point that, well, they can't be comparable because VeChain is not a proof of work, and neither is Jasmy. And they're also, you know, VeChain's up 75% from its launch, Jasmy's down 98%, Kaspa's up 50,000% from its launch, so it's still not the same thing. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Bitcoin in 2033 when the block rewards are not enough to incentivize miners anymore, and how Kaspa is doing at that time. It could be a very big shift from Bitcoin to Kaspa, honestly. Maybe you see Marathon become a Kaspa mining company instead. That'd be insane. Yeah, stick with Kaspa and they'll come. A matter of time, I'm sure. Crazy statement, right? Crazy statement. Yeah. Did you see what Kaspa Onion wanted to do? No. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Kaspa Onion. I can't type. I can't type. There you go. Wait, has he changed his profile picture? Oh yeah, I can't. I love my PC, just lag all the time. He has changed his profile picture. Oh, I like the old one. I like that one. You changed it now to this. Fair enough. Okay. Where's the recent one? I'm not entirely sure what you're referring to. I'm trying to look through his post right now. Oh yeah, that was the thing about Pompilinsky there, which you posted here. About this whole partnership thing. Other than that, yeah. Let me know what he was posting about, and I'll have a look through it. Kaspa's about to crack 10, just you watch. I'm sure it will in due time. And as Bufflink says, do the streams, either like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. On Bitcoin Maxi, this is why I know you're very much on Bitcoin Maxi, that's why you'll talk about it as well. Thousands of Beck token unlocked tomorrow, and the low volume going to make it dump? Possibly, yeah. I mean, Zebek right now is looking a little bit bearish because I think they fired the CEO very recently. So Zebek is, it's looking like on an uptrend, and now I think you're going to probably see Zebek come back down again. If I'm to hazard a guess, I'd probably say Zebek's going to come probably back down to this zone that back here, give or take. And then you might find support again at 0.0046. If not, it'll come back down to this golden pocket back here again. I still think the bet's going to make bigger gains to cycle potentially, just because of how small it is, and also the partnerships they have with the UK government and whatnot, in the payment space and whatnot. So I think it could do well. But I'll just have to wait and see. You could take this opportunity maybe, but it's of course not financial advice. Good afternoon, LB bro. You're doing very, very well, brother. Welcome back to stream, my man. Fiery today, I like it. Honestly, it's a nice change of pace sometimes. Next to the damn sell wall, a quarter of the volume is on there. Yeah, not surprising. And yeah, you got other Cryptony. Yep, 220's back in the stream once again. Welcome back, brother. Hope you're doing very, very well. If the FUDs on Kaspa came in with some real doubt and research rather than made up BS to get, again, I have never been against people who FUD Kaspa when they have credible claims behind it. That's also why a lot of people in the Kaspa community started hating Bitcoin Maxis, even like the OG Bitcoins, like I'm forgetting the name of him now. How am I forgetting his name? That's embarrassing. That one, Adam Back. People in the Kaspa community are starting to call him out for being, ignorant, and just calling out on him because him being a Bitcoin Maxi is being completely downplaying Kaspa despite what Kaspa actually is, which is ridiculous. Now he is a very, intellectual individual, so I would never really come at him. But I understand why people are putting him down, because why is he completely discrediting Kaspa when there's all the stuff being spread about Kaspa is being based on false premises and lies from the looks of things about how Some Polinsky didn't work on the original Bitcoin stuff or anything like that, despite there being evidence of him doing so. He didn't get a PhD at Harvard, which again, we can't really, I guess, prove that, but it's such a weird thing to come at him for. But him just saying, yeah, because it's an altcoin, it's scammy. That's literally it. Like, if the premise of, yeah, it's just crazy. You even got CFB coming out to support that. That's quite insane, you know. Oh, we got two. Oh, we got another. Oh, wow, we got three. You got Tony, Cryptony, and Cryptony. Oh my gosh. Okay. That I don't think it is Mr. Miles, but that would be. I wouldn't put it past him either, actually. Is it true that everyone that crossed QC has ended up in an unfortunate accident? Maybe. Okay. Maybe it is Mr. Miles. That's a very Mr. Miles comment. That is Mr. Miles, because I know he said he was going to do that as well, and we said no, don't. It's definitely Mr. Miles, yeah, 100%, 100%. Okay, well that's proof there, because everybody in this community knows Mr. Miles. Everybody knows him, so if you don't know him, that's saying a lot. Kaspa's a 4-year-old is not that early for an altcoin. It's his first cycle though, right? Again, assets like Solana and those ones didn't do anything until this section in the cycle right now. It's 4 years. It's early for the grand scheme of things, but again, it's not the same thing. It's a fair launch project, so it takes a longer time for it to accumulate that adoption and that momentum and demand. I still think it'll do well the cycle. I think the next few months will be very important for it. Smart contracts, stable coins, KRI, potential listings, all that stuff, regulatory frameworks, rate cuts. So much more coming out, you know? I am Cryptony. You just trying to claim marriage. Honestly. It's Kaspa's first bull run, there's still space for it to go in price, 100%. IOTA was in the top 20 or even less, and it became a relic of history that floats on the top 100 for many years. I mean, end of the day, right, anything's possible, right? I just have belief that Kaspa's going to be one that does stand out. That's my ultimate belief. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not saying that. See there, that bed is a very fair point to make. That's a very fair point to make. So I can't even, combat that. It's not like the other two were saying previously, which you can combat what they were saying, but that's a very fair point. You're using other projects. While it's not the same thing, IOTA and Kaspa in regards to the project actually is, but IOTA was the top 20, fell off, and now it's just kind of floating around top 100. It's a fair point to make. Now, will Kaspa do the same thing? We don't know. I'd like to believe it won't. But we just don't know. The fact that Bitcoin Maxis are coming to look at Kaspa, I think, is a reassuring thing. That's why it won't do that. But we don't know. People are not angry with Kaspa technology. We are just angry with undervalued. Oh yeah, exactly. No one's upset with Kaspa and the tech. Even Bitcoin Maxis and the tech for Kaspa is really, really good. They just don't like the price of Kaspa because it's been down for so long. There you go. And Mr. Master, a man with very, very nice words. It's a way of words. I think it's on the Kaspa Onion other account, green picture, and he said he wants us to make a group and subscribe on X to Bitcoin Maxi. Okay, I mean, I've not seen that. Have a look at it. I don't particularly fancy doing anything like that. I don't feel like I necessarily need to, but everyone can do what they want to do at the end of the day. If you want to subscribe to Bitcoin Maxi on X, then go for it. But I don't feel like I need to give them my money for them to listen to Kaspa, I don't need or kind of want to do that. They'll come when they want to come. If they want to miss out on Bitcoin, fine. Kaspa needs one of the core devs to build a Hyperliquid-like service. Maybe. I mean, we have got some politically trying to build this VProg thing or put it into proposal right now, which could be a good kind of workaround alongside roll-ups. So, let's just see. We need to do something. Apparently, doing like every day is not sufficient enough for Coinbase and Binance. I mean, they don't know me. They don't know me. What could we do to make Kaspa go mainstream faster? It's a very good question. Ultimately, it's because it's an organic project. It's just whatever we can do to keep talking about it. We don't really know though. And while I do these streams basically every single day, I'm not big enough. God, I wish I was Michael Saylor, and I could then just talk about Kaspa. That would get a lot of adoption, but I'm not. But it will get there eventually. Hello, my man. Hope you're doing very, very well. Welcome back to the stream, my man. You've got 2 accounts and you just flip into it. Yeah, there you go. I think all day 2 is more. Yeah, there you go. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. When 5 cents on Kaspa, I am under the impression it's unlikely to happen again. I could be wrong, but based on the fact that you've seen a double bottom here, and that's of the really, really bad action from the Liberation Day and whatnot, and then you saw it come down here and find support and rebound here, I like to believe that these are the bottoms for Kaspa now, and Kaspa therefore won't correct below here ever again. I could be wrong. If the market decides it wants to crash right now, then it would happen, but I don't think Kaspa will come back under 5 cents again. I think it does. It does know where to go. It wants to go above 1 cent, but there's a massive sell wall there stopping it. But I think it will. It's just, again, we got big developments coming out in 2 weeks, and I think that's going to be what pushes it above. With that being said, I do have some other posts, but I'm going to probably get into those tomorrow, truth be told. They're not the most important of posts, with respect. What's going on? Mythwash is making multiple accounts and just saying donate to him. This guy's a troll. He's a troll, man. If I didn't know you as well as I did do, I'd actually think you were a scammer. But yeah, if it does go 5 cents again, I would definitely go a lot heavier into Kaspa. The other posts in Kaspa, I will talk about them tomorrow. That being said, though, family, that'll be it for today's Kaspa Crypto live stream. If you enjoyed the stream, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more. Check out the free community on Discord. Check out the VIP for more in-depth information ahead of time, knowing what's come to the space, knowing why we're so convicted in what we're holding, and ultimately learn more about the space, get more locked in. Trade alerts, alpha information, VIP live streams, all the works for free for 7 days or for a month for free through BYDFI. They've got another campaign with Bitcoin going on right now. Check it out. That being said, have a great day, good evening, good night, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care now.